really, more than anything, just encourage you to keep exploring your own core erotic template. And you can do it sort of going back to these peak experiences and thinking about memories in your mind. Another way to get to know it is by creating an erotic journal. You can start just free writing about different memories that you have, or fantasies, or movies, or musicians, or whoever, anything it is that you've noticed. For me, there's a certain kind of lighting that I find very erotic, certain places in the world. Even just creating a journal of all these things and thinking about it like it's almost a map of your own erotic dream. And then you can go through each element and unfold it. And just for me, erotic memory is very fascinating. Why it is that I would remember something. It's like, oh, I had a crush on this boy when I was 12 years old. And what about him do I remember? And I remembered actually his haircut. And then you can say, what about his haircut was exciting? And of course, it was the way he flipped it. And then you can think about this flipping thing and what that has to do. And again, unfold it, and think about how that might be present in your own erotic nature now, how that might still be something you're attracted to. You can think about memories, you can think even about times in your life. I had the pleasure of being with Gianfrancesco in our breakout room, and I lived in Italy for a while. And I just felt so the whole time I was there. And so remembering that place, remembering the way the sun looked on the buildings, remembering how it felt to walk in my body, all of that I put in my erotic journal. And I thought it as part of my own dream that still lives in me, that I'm still looking for. And then another place to look is your fantasies. And for me, I didn't have fantasies for a very long time. I think because even in my fantasies, I was afraid of being rejected. So I rejected myself by not even fantasizing. And it was actually in reading this book and uncovering this stuff in myself that I started to let myself begin to build fantasies again. And I actually started with memories. So I went back to like that boy flipping his hair when I was 12. And I thought about what would I have wanted to happen? Or I would put myself in Italy in a landscape and think, then what happens? Then what happens? So I found starting with memories to build fantasies to be very useful. Even starting with putting myself in those movies, right? What would happen to me if I was in that movie? And asking these questions that I think are really edgy, like, what have I always wanted someone to do to me that I never felt like I could ask for? What have I always wanted to be able to do to somebody that I didn't quite have the confidence to do? And in that way, even fantasizing is itself a healing. Even going in those places in your imagination is almost laying the groundwork for opening up the full spectrum of where your own erotic being might be able to go in the future, inside your imagination and also outside. So, these three things: peak experiences, an erotic journal, and fantasies are all great sources of information.